Good morning, everybody. This is Christy, Christy Lambert, and I am on day one of my challenge here to utilize Fung fasting. It'd be Dr. Jason Fung, his recommendations from the Complete Guide to Fasting, and I actually have been following that, but this I'm going to make my official first day of my challenge because I've been experimenting. I did a 6.5 day fast. I was on partway through day 6 when I decided to stop that fast, but it was very successful. I lost over 10 pounds. I will insert the results and take you through my measurements and such. The only thing I didn't get is a waist measurement, so I'll start doing that, recording that this week. Dr. Jason Fung and Jimmy Moore wrote the book, The Complete Guide to Fasting. And so I'm also going to stay ketogenic from here on out. And I measure my blood ketones, and I have a ketonix to measure my breath ketones as well. It's acetone that comes out in the breath. And so right now, I think I'm 243.8. My ketones this morning were 1.1, and my fasting blood glucose was back to 295. So that is the major reason I'm doing this, because when I did the original 6.5 day fast, my blood sugar had climbed to, I'd have to look that up, but it was up in the 300s. I did an HbA1c, and that was a 13.6. So that was not good. So, but the blood sugar came down from, I think it was over 300, and I got that down to 156. I think was the final reading, but I'll share that later. And I'll be putting that in my daily blog on christylambert.com. That's KRISTILAM as in Mary B as in boy, ERT.com. And so I'll be sharing those results there. And do a weekly weigh-in update and everything, and then whatever other subjects regarding the fasting. I want to keep myself accountable, and so I don't have any excuses to, let things go. Let's see, anything else about the fasting? I felt really good. I found everything happened exactly on schedule as far as what Dr. Fung said to expect on each day. Day 5, I had a little bit of a noradrenaline, and he said that turns on at about that day. So my warning is, combining that with caffeine, too much caffeine, caused me it accentuated the pounding hard, but the pulse wasn't really overly fast. It was just he calls it the noradrenaline effect. It's epinephrine and norepinephrine start kicking in at that point, and it definitely showed, combined with coffee. So limiting myself, I have like a cold brew. The cold brew coffee combined with doing sparkling water saved me. So I didn't have to use any crutches, like I didn't have to use any bone broth, and I only used MCT the first day in my coffee, but after that, none of those things. And what I found was, when I started getting the noradrenaline effect, I also found that I had, even the Himalayan salt for getting salt for electrolytes was not enough for me. However, I found putting some baking soda and a little apple cider vinegar in some water really turned me around. And the apple cider vinegar is so that I don't over-alkalize myself from the baking soda. So anyway, I'm going to be giving at least a weekly update on that, and whatever other things I can share with you from my experience with the fasting. I've binge watched every Jason Fung video, there is out there. And all of Jimmy Moore's Periscopes about his 21-day fast. And all of his fastingtalk.com episodes with Megan Ramos Ramos is the director at his intensive dietary management facility, and that's intensivedietarymanagement.com. Lots of info there, and of course on dietdoctor.com, and that's where I'm getting all my recipes, which are, it's really cool because you can just like, okay, you know, a lot of recipes, they'll say, oh, it's for 4 servings, and you have to try to figure out the math. Well, you can actually use a pull down in the menu and say, I only want 1 serving, then it'll adjust the measurements that you need in the recipe. So it's a very, very useful site. That's about all I can think of right now. And of course, I'm still following all the principles that I can of Dr. Cruz and there's another doctor, Dr. Robert Cassar, that follows a lot, and many folks out there are talking about how light affects in your circadian rhythms, timing of eating, and such here. But that's where right now I'm concentrating on insulin. I believe, and as Dr. Fung does, I believe now that fixing my insulin will actually take care of the leptin problem. So I'm not concentrating on leptin right now. Sorry about that, Dr. Cruz, but right now I'm sticking to this. It's done miracles for me so far. I was having lots of issues with getting blood sugar down, and this really did it. I've done lots of things, like I've done the bulletproof rapid fat loss protocol a couple years ago, and that worked really well, but I didn't have all the information at that time, and I was thinking I needed a lot of extra supplements and things like that. And I'm really finding that from what I learned from that, combined with I've done lots of juice feasting and juice fasting. Did a 7-day juice fast, and that also brought the blood sugar down. But it's about insulin. It's not about blood sugar. So anyway, I'm not going to ramble on any longer. I just want to say hi and checking in with you. And so I'm now a Fung fasting foodie freak. That's what I am. All right, we'll talk to y'all later. Thanks.